So
Yes,
man,
indeed.
this is good. So what about those leaders who may not necessarily be at that level, who may not necessarily have, they look at them, they do some self-reflection and realize that I have a little character flaws here and there and I need to fix this. But what are some of the ways that these individuals can kind of increase their measures of accountability for themselves?
I believe this, right? One thing I learned on time: you cannot expect people to be on the same level of energy or motivation that you are,
Right.
right? I What you have to do as a leader is being able to put people in position that they can flourish,
Mm.
that they can exceed. So some people, I'm going to give you an example. Some people, in fact, are not maybe good at physical fitness, for example. Why? Because many of them, they wasn't athletes growing up, so
Hmm.
they're just okay, right? They
Yeah.
able to. And don't get me wrong, they can pass any type of physical fitness, but they was
Yeah.
not the elite. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, I don't believe that a high score on APFT means that you're a good leader. So you put that out
Absolutely.
first out there, right? But
Absolutely.
so the one thing is that still, regardless of the shortcomings or flaws or what they believe are flaws, I'm here to get the best out of them on the areas that they are good at.
Yes.
And I will run an organization knowing that when I look at a mission and I'm about to put people in place to make this mission happen, I know how the weakness and the strengths of my organization. And when working with a small group, first sergeant, platoon sergeant, I know directly, the strengths and weakness of the individual. So I'm not going to put a person knowing that he has a high chance to fail.
Right.
I'm not going to put in that position. However, he's going to be part of the mission where I know he can exceed.
Absolutely.
And it's a balancing act, right? It's a balancing act because at the end of the day, especially when we talk about combat, everybody has to go out there and do their part.
That's right.
But when the majority of the time that we're talking about, leading, I think it's important that even those people that have struggles in certain areas of leadership, it's okay. I'm not going to put you aside. I'm not going to forget about you.
Yeah.
Because now I think I had to do maybe a little more homework, right? I maybe had to pull you aside a little bit more. I maybe talk to you about, what is it, and give you sometimes. I believe that some individuals will not come up and that clear and say, I'm struggling and whatnot.
Yeah.
But they give you hints about this issue that they're having, and then you have to be, savvy enough to figure this thing out, help that individual.
Yeah.
And I think that, I'm going to give you an example again. I have first time that I can barely hear him when he's in formation. And nothing wrong with that, right? So, but the issue is this, right? I said, listen, if you're not talking to the guy that's holding the guideline, you're talking to the guy that is behind there, so it's just something simple as that, the projection on his voice, and he wasn't even realizing that. I said, I don't expect to go on there and scream like a drill sergeant. I don't want that.
Yeah.
But I want you that when you're talking, make it known that you are talking.
Right. Right.
And on the same token, right, I used to, believe me, I used to first sign. And the same, don't hold people 10 minutes talking, man. Because first, soldiers at the time they have to go home,
They're ready to go.
2 to 3 minutes attention span.
That's
you know
it.
what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
After that, they're not listening. So again, I think you should be able, as a leader, to be able to get, again, going to what I was saying, get the best out of people.
Yeah.
And even when those individuals have some flaws, you have to hold them accountable, because they are leaders, right?
That's right.
They are somewhere, somehow, the department already promoted them to whatever rank they are.
That's right.
And that rank comes associated with some accountability and some responsibility.
Yeah.
And you have to hold them there. But I just don't believe just because a person has, some kind of flaws within their leadership style, or either person, or whatever the case may be, that you can put them aside. No, absolutely not. I think, again, my approach is the same. I just want to get the best out of you.
There you go. I love it. I love it. And I think you're absolutely correct. There is goodness in everybody. No one. I had a sergeant major tell me years ago. He said, Dean, he said, pay close attention. He said, and I'm not making this up. He said the most worthless guy in our formation is good at something.
Absolutely.
And I had to stop and think about that, because I'm like, that actually made sense. And back then I was almost like one of those zero tolerance guys. Like, this is the way it's going to be, and that's it. I don't want to hear anything else.
Yeah.
But what he said made so much sense. Like, even if they're not necessarily good at everything that they're supposed to be doing, everything they're supposed to be doing, they're good at something within that scope. Find
Absolutely.
that thing and make sure that you keep them there. That's their strength zone. Keep them in their strength zone and help them grow from there moving forward. One of the things I tend to believe in, I believe that wholeheartedly. Sure, there's a lot of things that I'm not good at. And what I will
Yeah.
find is that I stay completely away from those things. Like, case in point, I have a bachelor's degree in project management. I don't want to do anything that has to do with admin, bookkeeping, none of that stuff. I don't want to do that. I will hire somebody to do that stuff, man. And so that's kind of like my point. Like, can I do it? Sure. Can I be good at it? Sure, if I worked at it. Do I want to do it? No, I don't. And I think a lot of times what you'll find is that you're going to have a lot of leaders. Like, there are certain aspects of leadership that they are great at, but then there's some that they still need to work on.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
And I think what you said is just perfect. Like, you don't throw them away because of that one or two things that they still need to work on. And they will show you that they need to work on it because they're going to have some form of anxiety that surfaces whenever that thing comes up. And so what we have to do is, like, appreciate them for what they do. Like, tell them that they're doing a good job. And then ask them, like you said before, how can I help you be better at this?
And it's so important. It's so important that approach. I remember, I know this because when you are able to identify a person with the individual with the organization that, sometimes it's not good at a lot of things that are visual, right? It's not good at the range. It's not good at PT. Or, it just that guy that just maybe is below the radar when it comes down to people watching him.
Yeah.
But you identify that individual and put him in a place that he's good at, doing whatever. I'm telling you, you say something. I had a soldier that I'll tell you right now, he was one of those kids that I didn't even recognize his voice. That's because he never talked. It was just that individuals.
Yeah.
But I knew his niche, and every time we went to the field, I saw what he was reading, and I started talking. And next thing you know, I say, "Hey, man, I'm trying to do this matrix for X thing. Yeah, you can figure this thing out." And his eyes, you have to see this kid's eyes. Like, I just can imagine he's talking. I'm talking here. I'm a sergeant major, right? I'm talking this kid in HHB. I mean, the last thing I thought he was thinking that day that I was going to ask him to do something for the organization. Yeah. And next thing you know, man, he happened to live in the barracks. One of those barracks, walks that I did. I knock in his room. How you doing? I'm telling you, that kid, I never heard him talk so much. Oh, wow. Because he was comfortable. You see what I'm saying? And it go back to what I was telling you earlier, right? Your sergeant major was absolutely right, man. Yeah. What you believe maybe it's not, somebody's not either carrying away because you have not exploited what he's good at.
That's right. Absolutely.
So there's power in that, man.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely. Power in that. And what I took from his conversation, that was my fault I didn't find it yet. And so what I felt what I learned that I needed to do was go spend more time with the soldier and learn the soldier.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the only way that you're going to find out what their strengths and weaknesses are. So, man,
and it's about listening, man. It's about listening too, right?
Absolutely.
It's about